It's a delight to be with you on this Monday, and today I'd like to look at Matthew chapter 8. Things keep changing all the time, and I do want to take a moment to thank the Lord for the decision about Roe v. Wade and all of that key legal aspect about abortion. The Lord certainly has answered prayer. A lot of people have worked hard, and of course, as you've heard over and over, it's just beginning, the battles that will have to take place. But in the midst of so much that's discouraging, we do need to thank the Lord for what is really unthinkable. Just a couple of years ago, we couldn't have imagined that this would have happened, but God has been good, and we need to take advantage of any good move of the hand of God to move forward the cause of Christ. And we need to be bold and to be encouraged by what we have seen. In Matthew chapter 8, you have the miracle of the man with the devils and God casting them out there in the land of the Gadarenes. And it was quite a miracle. There were a number of demons within this man, and so they asked if they could go into the herd of swine. The Lord gave permission for that, and they of course ran into the sea, and it was quite an amazing event. And we read in verse 33, "And they that kept them fled and went their ways into the city and told everything, and what was befallen to the possessed of the devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coast." Now it seems like a little bit of a defeatist situation, but what I want to get across is that right where the Lord was accomplishing this was in what's called the Decapolis. This was an area dominated by the Gentile powers at that time, and this was not a region that was going to be open to the Lord or even thinking about him, but they came and saw this amazing miracle and realized that he had cast the demons out of this man, and that this man was now in his right mind, and that the swine obviously proved that there was an enormous spiritual victory that had been won. And as they saw this, they were affected. They had come out and they were fearful and respectful of him. The reason I bring this up is that any moment God can do amazing things that cause people to realize there is a God, that God is able to do mighty things, and that causes people to come to grips with who they are and what it is that they need to do about God. As you have probably heard, the Gallup survey came out last week that there are 20% of people now that do not believe that there's a God. That's not real surprising. There are 80% that do believe there's a God of some type, but that is a 10% drop over just the last few years. And it shows you the increasing the secularization of our culture. And it's because we do not have the power of God in our own personal lives and in our churches as we ought to. But if we will yield to the Lord, God can change the equation in just a moment. One miracle, everybody knew about Jesus. They were afraid of him. I'm sure over the next months, they listened to his message. Out of this, I'm sure came believers, and God stepped in and made a difference. And my friends, we've got to realize that if we'll trust him, God will step in and make a difference. Things like what we saw last week at the Supreme Court. Amazing. 10 years ago. Couldn't have happened, but it happened. But even greater things than that can occur if we will be the men and women of God that we ought to be. Let's stay encouraged and let God do his work through us.